All right, let's talk about a new tool for developers that's honestly a pretty huge deal. It's fundamentally changing how AI can connect with the thousands of apps we all use every single day. This isn't just some minor update, it's a whole new way to build things. So let's start with a really basic question. If you've ever tried to build something with AI, you know this pain. How does an AI agent actually do stuff? How does it get into your calendar to schedule a meeting or check your email or update your CRM? It always hits a wall. And that wall has a name. Developers call it the integration wall. See, if you want to connect your AI to, say, Slack, you have to build a custom integration just for Slack, then another one for Gmail, then another one for Salesforce. Each one is this painful, bespoke project involving something called OAuth, which is so famously difficult developers have a name for it. OAuth hell. It's just a nightmare of managing credentials and security for every single app. Now get this, what if I told you there's a company that has already spent the last decade painstakingly solving this exact problem for over 9,000 different apps? That's the ecosystem Zapier has built, one integration at a time. It just puts the sheer scale of this challenge into perspective, right? And that, right there, leads us to the breakthrough. Zapier has basically bundled up access to all 9,000 of those apps into one tool for developers. The idea is so simple, but it's totally revolutionary. You connect to Zapier once, and suddenly you're connected to everything. No more building from scratch. No more OAuth hell. That integration wall? It's just gone.
So, what is this magic tool? It's called the Zapier SDK. Think of it as a toolkit specifically for developers and AI agents, and it's in a free open beta right now. This is really the third major piece of Zapier's whole AI strategy, and it's all about giving your code direct, programmatic access to that entire universe of apps.
Okay, so to really get what makes the SDK so powerful, it helps to compare it to Zapier's other AI tool, which is called the MCP. Let's kind of break down the key differences between them. There's a really great analogy for this. Think of the MCP as a curated menu at a restaurant. It gives a chatbot a simple, pre-approved list of things it can do. It's perfect for quick, simple tasks. The SDK, though, the SDK gives you full access to the entire kitchen. You're not stuck with the menu. You can write complex code, create loops, work with all the raw ingredients, and basically cook up any automated workflow you can possibly dream of. So what exactly are these superpowers? Let's dive into the specific features that make this thing a total game changer for anyone building with AI. So, the SDK is absolutely packed with great stuff. You've got access to that massive list of 9,000 apps, zero OAuth headaches, which is amazing, great language support, and it's built to be resilient. But there is one feature here that is the true superpower. And that superpower is raw API access. So, beyond the 30,000 plus pre-built actions, the menu, the SDK gives you direct, authenticated access to the raw APIs of almost 3,600 different apps. This is the entire kitchen. What this means is if you have some really unique or complex task that isn't covered by a pre-built action, you can just call the app's own API directly, and Zapier handles all the messy authentication stuff for you. It's incredible. Okay, theory is cool, but let's see how this actually works in the real world. Imagine you ask an AI agent to do a really common but surprisingly complicated task. Reschedule your weekly team meeting and make sure everyone involved gets notified. Here's how the SDK just crushes it. First, the code instantly connects to your Google Calendar and Slack. No OAuth, nothing, it just works. Then it finds the event on your calendar and updates the time. But here's the real magic, that last step. The code grabs every single attendee's email from the calendar invite, looks them up in your company's Slack, and then sends each person a direct message. All that complexity, the different APIs, the authentication for both Google and Slack, it's all handled automatically. The developer just gets to write the simple logic. So, why does any of this matter if you're not a developer? Well, this is way bigger than just making a developer's job easier. This has huge implications for pretty much anyone who uses software. The really crucial takeaway here is that this just accelerates innovation like crazy. For you, the non-technical user, this means that the AI assistants you use are about to get dramatically smarter and more capable. The software you already pay for, it's going to get more powerful, more personalized features, and it's going to happen way faster. And we're going to see a ton of new tools that can manage these really complex workflows across all your different apps. And believe it or not, the SDK is just getting started. This is a living, evolving platform. And if you look at the roadmap, you can see just how much more powerful it's about to get. So the SDK is already out in open beta right now, but the next really big step is the Triggers API. This is going to let your code react to things happening in your apps in real time. So, for example, your code could instantly run the moment a new email arrives or when a sales deal is marked closed. You don't have to build custom webhooks or constantly check for updates anymore. And on top of that, better tools for user approvals and security are coming soon too. So this all leaves us with one big question. For the last decade, that integration wall has been a massive barrier holding back what AI could really do in our lives. But now, that wall has been torn down and replaced with a single master key. When connecting to literally any app becomes as simple as writing a few lines of code, what new possibilities does that unlock? What will AI do next? What are we going to build?